D.C. do not represent major operations. They are the little guy, the one that, you know, well, they're the Michael J. Fox trying to get you. Michael J. Fox doesn't make any money campaigning for Parkinson's disease.
No.
Angelina Jolie is not paid to campaign for children's rights, but they're, you know, they've got lots of money, but still they will sit outside a door just like everybody else, because when they're playing lobbyists, I mean, you got the you know, little guy. He wants the President of the United States to do something honoring Little League baseball. So they send Little League baseball person that can sit outside for months to get the President of the United States.
Oh my gosh!
That's what happens.
Well, you know, when I was an intern, they were trying to do a bill for the Armenian genocide. Yep. It's just, you know, to sign off and say Armenian genocide, we recognize that this happened type thing. I mean, talk about the work that they did on that, because, you know, they had to call everybody had to read the bill, then you try and get their support, and some support you get only after you have other support, and there could only be one bill, right? Because everybody wanted to see who else signed. Yeah,
and those people are they're not getting wealthy on Armenian genocide.
No.
I mean, you have the people, Greenpeace, they have high-powered lobbyists, but you have the little guy trying to save his little corner of the world in the United States. And he's basically a one-person campaign. He's not, you know, they can barely, like I said, they're totally living out of a suitcase. They're basically there in their car. They move the car around. They're sleeping in the car. They're trying to get people to listen to them because they want to make a change that they think that is beneficial. The majority of the lobbyists, like they were talking today, gentleman that's basically, his father makes $45,000 a year as a lobbyist. $45,000.
Wow.
And he was condemned. He said, it's not like he's not a lobbyist promoting things for the Democratic Party, which he is. He promotes things that the his father's left-wing liberal, he tries to promote things that he knows will help people, but from a liberal perspective, and he gets $45,000, his high point is, like he's in his 70s, $45,000 a year, and works, and they just, I mean, can you imagine sitting in a chair outside a congressman's office day after day after day after day?
Waiting to talk to him.
I've done that. I mean,
that's not fun.
I have sat there waiting to, you know, they had an appointment with me for the thing, and I sat, you know, in the lobby, and then what happens is the people, they then bounce you out of the lobby, even though you got the appointment, you're sitting there basically, and finally it comes to the point, well, somebody said, we want a chair, and they'll get a chair, and you sit there, and then
you're waiting and waiting, because for the congressman, typically, it's not something that's really important to them.
It's not important to
them. Right? So, you know, it's like, how easy is it for your schedule to change to accommodate someone you really don't want to meet with?
And a god awful lot of the lobbyists, it is just the people that like to have, you know, I think, I sat with my father, what happened was my father was one who's responsible for the circle of flags that you have at the veterans hospitals. I sat with my father, you know, for, I mean, we're talking days. We just sit back there and just wait for a congressman and then another congressman. My father wasn't getting paid. He never made a dime to go try it. And what he wanted to do was simply get a flag from each one of the states. You know, to be the, I mean, when he started out, there wasn't 50 states. They just wanted a flag from every state to go along the driveway of the veterans hospitals. It actually amounts to a lot of flags if you figure out how many veterans hospitals. But then what they do is they also raise those flags up at the hospitals and they give them to people when they die, so.
Oh, so they constantly needed more flags.
They constantly needed more flags, and basically, so it was a massive project on the part of my father. I sat there and watched him, you know, my father was not a patient German, but, and he leaned on people as much as he could, but the average congressman, senator does not have time for that sort of thing, because they're basically dealing with the bigger lobbyists.
That's right.
So the majority of lobbyists do not make things. So it put them, and then to put bankers. Bankers are also that little teller at the window that makes like $8 an hour. Those millionaires that Obama talks about are now down to $200,000. And that's basically, if it's a small business that does good. And here's this morning, this is the piss that pissed people off on Wall Street this morning. Then why don't they just stop filing, you know, their personal income with their business, and it would stop the problem. Well, the personal income is the business income, which is why they file it that way. But his answer was simply to the reporter, well, just change the way you file. Not him, the thing. Obama has basically said the problem with America is the people. The people are responsible for all that's wrong with it. Well, until he became president, we were doing everything, so. You got people making one illegal turn after another. The guy ran over the sidewalk. We have a winner of the world, but no, I wound up about 9/11 and the fact that, like I said, I shouldn't be taking sides, but the president finally this morning, he just pissed me off this morning.
Well, see, part of it is the side that you're on, let's say, is the side that's felt by many people that are Americans.
I know.
Because
because if you work it this way, you have with the 6 degrees of Kevin
separation,
Bacon. The 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Basically, you can basically link everybody in the world to Kevin Bacon if you do. You know, we can go 6 points. It's the same thing. You can link a god-awful part of America to the people that died in those towers. Mm-hmm. They picked those towers for a reason.
That's
because
right.
There was towers where everybody worked. I mean, it was an international building. Basically, everybody from all sorts of life worked in those towers.
Well, and it's just not the people that were in the towers that were affected. It was the
people outside. I mean, there's like 20. A tremendous amount of area was affected. You know, people's lives were destroyed forever. Families were destroyed. I mean, it's never going to be, you know, like in one battle over another, like they're going to have a thing this weekend on 9/11, you know, which is all going to get up to date. But it basically dealing with the fact that things, they're not coming along as fast as they should. Well, yeah, because the government stops it at every point that you can think of, because you have rules and regulations that Obama has now put upon the people, which stops it. But that Mosque that's going to go up isn't facing those same rules and regulations. Mm-hmm. They're going to shortcut it so they can be up fast.
You know what? They're probably going to try and get that up before the 9/11 building.
They want it because, so it can stare down upon all of the building. You know, but he's went too far as the president. He has went so far that, you know, like yesterday, Juan Williams and Chris Matthews and Kirsten Power, the Republicans have no, there's no reason to even run someone against him in the next election, because of the fact that people in this nation so support this man.
They do?
Well, now the Hillary campaign commercial is now being ran. Dean is starting to run stuff. Kerry is coming out. Biden has all of a sudden got his brains back.
Really?
Isn't that amazing?
Amazing.
Oh, because there's a reason behind that.
Why?
The man this morning on the news did point out the fact, you know, there is a thing in there's a law that is passed that if Congress deems the President of the United States is incapacitated, that he can be set down for medical examination and for their well-being.
Oh, really?
Which means Biden is preparing to take over the president. It's how the Democrats handle the President of the United States. I mean, then Biden is no longer Mr. Stupid. Mr. Biden is now the Joe Biden that was funny, that smart.
What's the other part? Just an act?
I'm assuming that the Joe Biden senility may have been an act. And now he's basically, he's also, look at his hair. Look at his tan, he's trimmer. His hair.
He's getting ready.
He's getting ready to become president, folks. He knows he can't run for the office, but if he becomes the president, he is basically a vice president warming up to be president now. Because...
So is Hillary.
Yeah, Hillary's going to run him. Well, they started her campaign ad. Dean is on the campaign movement. I mean, you got people coming out of the woodwork in both parties to run now, because it is now a wide open election. I mean, but like I said, after last night when they said there's no way on earth anybody can run against him, it's a gimme, he becomes president for a second term. Today, all the data from, we're talking left-wing organizations, say 56% of the people have now said that this economy will not improve until he is no longer president. Mm-hmm. That means he couldn't get this man could not get elected to dog catcher. And today, he went one step too far when he condemned everybody in the country.
Yeah, but see, I've seen him bounce back from a lot of things that you thought was the end of it anyway.
No, but But basically he's pissed the Democrats, the Senate, the leaders of every financial committee in the Senate has turned against him today. Every single one of them. I mean, and this morning you heard one of them, what the hell is this man doing? I mean, he does not have any comprehension. The government, the country, including everybody but the people on the extreme left, want him to stop spending money. Well, we've got 50, and then, you know, like $1 trillion couldn't stop it, but 50 billion will.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but Obama is like the people that have been for the last 20 minutes running a stop sign out there. They just continually run the stop sign because they don't even know the stop sign's there. This man, I understand that the people may blame me for the economy, but we didn't cause the economy. George Bush caused the economy. I'm going to tell people a real nice little thing. Till Pelosi and Reid took over control of the House and Senate, we had a 5.6% unemployment rate. Your house was worth $40,000 more than it is now, and the debt had only went up by $500 billion.
Well, I love that unemployment is under 10%, but did they forget that they've recalculated how they get the unemployment?
They recalculated it to get to wherever the figure is. And they change the calculations anytime they choose. And Obama has once again said that the new symbol of unemployment will be the world symbol of unemployment, not the United States symbol. It will be 8%, 8 to 8.8%. So when these predictions were made, we were actually right in line with the world. And unemployment has only rose just a little. Well, he took unemployment from 6.1% when he took office to everyone admits will be 10% by election day.
Yep.
I mean,
and in actuality, it's probably more than that.
It's 16%, as they said, because they also don't calculate, if you don't collect unemployment insurance, you're taken off the rolls.
Oh. And that has traditionally been how they calculate it.
Yeah, basically, they jumble the figures, but Obama counts people in agricultural jobs, Obama counts people in government jobs, but when they lose their job, he doesn't count them anymore. They just vanish. That's why you can lose 150,000 jobs from the government, and the government's shedding jobs like water right now. I mean, it's not only because other than teachers and firemen and those people that basically have strong unions, the government is basically, California even basically, they're going to allow Schwarzenegger to furlough people because they can't pay them. And the state controller says, well, we've got enough money to pay them to October. Well, when this is being done, it's the 10th of September. That's like 2 weeks from now, folks, and they've busted. And this is the way it is. And Obama we need $1 trillion of money to help out these states. And it's more Democrat. Even a Democrat this morning, I heard one of them said, he said, the presses are busted. And nobody will sell us new presses. The world wants Obama to stop spending. The world has said, and he said, well, the problem is they haven't spent enough. That's why the problem. The bond market worldwide is getting ready to collapse because of Obama, they said. The country is getting ready to go into Hillary Clinton. This massive spending has caused the United States' security to be put in jeopardy, and when our security is in jeopardy, the whole world is in jeopardy. And when you kiss the rear ends of people today that threaten your butt, like I said, he went too far today, and he can't. His handlers are trying to undo the damage he did today, and he'll come out. The Gibbs will come out tomorrow. Well, what happened was he did the damage in the morning off the prompter instead of doing the damage after the news is done later in the day. Okay, well, when the president does stupid things, you should do stupid things after the news cycle.
Yeah, especially on a Friday.
But he's fed it today. He's pissed off that 70% of the people. He's pissed off that it's important that we build this because they're threatening the people and the safety of this nation if we don't allow it to be built. Well, he's president of the United States, and he's pointing out the people of this nation trust me to make right decisions as a commander-in-chief. I don't know how that 56% of the people of this nation say that he is probably the greatest since Roosevelt. He's probably the greatest military leader we've had.
Who said that?